Hi, guys. This is Carrie with Fullerton Professional Organizing. And as you know, if you've already been tuning in, but if you don't, we talk about decluttering our faith and decluttering our home and decluttering our business. And today I have another organizer that I have met in a group called Faithful Organizers, and I'm going to let her introduce yourself. Whoops, I'm going to let her introduce herself, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what we do, but mostly about what she does. And we might even throw in a little bit about what she's doing in Kerrville. But I am going to go ahead and let her introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. I am Julianna. I am the owner and professional organizer of Collected Abundance, based here in the Hill Country of the greater Austin area in Texas. Thank you so much, Carrie, for having me here as a guest. Thank you, thank you. I've followed you. I've heard your past podcasts, and what you are doing is such a blessing. And
Oh, well,
so
thank
thank you
you.
for that. Yes, yes. And so what I do in my business is I help people declutter their homes.
Mhm.
So I help a lot of people who are currently in a life transition, whether it be a divorce, a move, downsizing, medical diagnosis, things like that, things that where other things are higher priority. And then I also specialize in helping people on the more extreme side. So
Mhm.
people who aren't as able to help themselves or have some chronic clutter or some brain-based challenges, including hoarding disorders, ADHD, PTSD, anxiety, and depression. Um, and so that's kind of where I have felt
Mhm.
being called and led to serve. And so the people I help are definitely in the community and but not seen. So
Mhm.
I'm here to help them be heard and help them with the stuff as well.
That's awesome. Tell our audience, I know, but maybe some in our audience don't know how we respectfully take care of people that have huge anxiety issues and have like what you mentioned, they really struggle
Mhm.
with keeping their home in an orderly, decluttered manner.
So one of the biggest things that I do, and not all professional organizers do this, but this is
Mhm.
just how I personally run things, is I let the client be in control.
Yes.
And so what that means is if they say no, I respect that.
Yes, that's what I want
And
people to know.
yes, yes. And when it comes to those topics, I also ask them, what is their daily life like? How
Mhm.
do they go about their day? What are their habits? What works and what doesn't work for them?
Yes.
Because what is quote unquote stereotype, what you see on television or what you see in books or read in books or what you hear on podcasts might not work for them. And for the most part, they don't.
Hmm.
For example, all my ADHD clients, not one of them handle things the same way throughout all my clients, which is hilarious. And
Hmm.
it's a lesson for me too, because you would think in a lot of books they were like, oh, well, the majority of people who are diagnosed with ADHD, they this is what works for them.
Hmm.
But all my clients with ADHD, they're all different. And
Yes.
so it's recognizing and listening to and understanding, helping them understand that the first day, the second day, and systems or that we currently put together might not last. And so it's okay to change things up as we go and as they live their daily life.
Yes,
So
exactly. Because this is what I try to tell my clients. If in 6 months, if within the next 6 months it has become a mess and you had to put it back, and then it was a mess, and then you put it back, and I'm not saying everything's going to stay uh reset and picked up. Of course, uh, life happens and then we have to put things away. But if it's constantly giving you trouble, then that means okay, that system's not necessarily working, so we need to just tweak it or revamp it, correct? Um,
Very much correct. Yes.
yeah, I mean, it's just a sign that that's not particularly working for you, and we just need to fix it. Because I have found in my home, that's how it works in my home. I've had areas that just did not, I just wasn't able. I wasn't able. The system was fine. I just wasn't able to keep up with that particular system. So I had to rework it for my brain. And that's what we do for other people. We try to see what's going to work for them. Yes. And do you go into their home and you see what it is that they're doing and sometimes where things are gives you a signal, correct?
Yes, very much so. And so I always recommend my clients before I go into their home to not touch anything. They don't need to clean up after, before I come. Kind of like when the cleaners come, you kind of clean before the cleaners come.
Yes.
So I kind of recommend them to not, because then I'll be able to see how they actually live their daily life. And
Yeah.
there's no shame and no judgment. Again, we all live our own lives, and what you see on television or social media, that's not real life.
Right.
um and well, let me take that back. There are some people who are very well put together, and that's
Mhm.
how they live their life, but for the majority of us, there is a certain, I think, keeping up with the Joneses in a
Mhm.
sense.
Mhm.
And so I always try to tell people, hey, it's okay. When I step in and I can point things out, right? Of, oh, I noticed this. Is this how you go about it, right? And what kind of see how their rotation is throughout the house, how the flow is as well.
Right.
And then I will also ask questions throughout sessions of, hey, is this how you normally do this? And then when families come in, so if it's more than one person, if there's a partner, kids, etc., it's also asking, hey, what are their habits? What are their flows and things like that?
Yeah, because really the client isn't the only person we're organizing for. So we have to consider every family member in the kitchen who
Mhm.
cooks the
Right.
most.
Yes,
And
yes.
yeah, and I've noticed that some people, and again, this is not a judgment, this is just
Mhm.
some people are naturally pilers and some fold, some struggle
Stuff.
with folding,
Yes.
some hang things on hangers,
Yes.
and some have to have hooks. I mean, there are
Mhm.
just ways to help with the way
Yes.
their brain works and the
Yes,
way
yes.
their habits are. Sure, you can
Mhm.
improve your habits, but it takes first finding a solution for where you are right now, correct? And then
Right.
you can, if you really want to change your habits, that is possible.
Mhm.
But yes, I love that. What are some other myths in professional organizing that you would want people to know about professional organizers? Because we already said it's not always. Now, there are parts of it that are like TV, and there are things we can learn from the way the things are done on
Mhm.
TV, but it's not all exactly like what you see.
Yes, professional organizing is customized to
Mhm.
every person. It doesn't discriminate on social status either. I have seen people with wealth have
Mhm.
stuff
Mhm.
and people with nothing have stuff.
Mhm.
And so I think one myth is that, hey, I can't afford it.
Mhm.
It is a luxury.
Mhm.
If you think about necessities, right? Necessities, when I think about necessities, I think about shelter,
Mhm.
a roof over your head. I
Mhm.
think clothing, so the clothing that we wear on our backs, and I think of food.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have something to eat? Do you have water? And so those are three necessities. So when
Mm-hmm.
you think about professional organizing, a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, I can't afford that."
Mm-hmm.
Um, or I can't, like, oh, that's way out of my price range, or and I greatly thank a lot of the television shows for bringing to life into the limelight of what we do in the big scale of
Mm-hmm.
things. But I think it's needing to help clients rewire their brain into realizing why we matter. And all of us as professional organizers, we all have different niches.
Mm-hmm.
So I help people on the more extreme side, um, life transitions. I also offer paper management as a service. But other people, they offer cleaning services or they offer concierge services.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's needing to help clients understand there's so much time, but yet there's not so much time left.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we are able to rearrange your home so when you come home from after like a 10-hour workday, you can just relax and enjoy your home,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Feel and be at peace.
Yeah.
The calmness. After a crazy day, if you've got a lot of kids, if you're a caretaker, if you got kids and caretaker for your parents, and you come home into a cluttered home, that's a lot more stress,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you need to find things, or if you can't find things, you go out and you buy another one, right? So finances also come into play of how many times are you going to buy a whisk or
Right.
scissors
Mm-hmm.
because you can't find your pair of scissors or another whisk, things like that. So I personally think it's worth it. And I personally have also hired a professional organizer for
Mm-hmm.
my own during a very busy time of my life,
Mm-hmm.
because they see something at a different point of view too,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you don't know them. They're like, hey, did you ever think about this? And I'm like, no, I didn't because I've been so busy with life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yes,
Yeah,
I
I've
come home,
actually
just
thought about
a comment.
hiring someone for computer cable management for
Well, there
my
we go.
office.
Yes, yes.
So, yes, I see. And I've also been tempted, even though I am well able to organize my garage, I have hired a male assistant. So I've been tempted to hire my own male assistant to help me with my own
Mhm.
garage just because
Yeah.
he sees
For all,
a
yes.
different take than I do. And so every organizer is different. It's just finding the right organizer for you, the client. And everyone at some point in their life has seasons where they need more help than other times.
Mhm.
And the other way around, they have seasons in their life where they need to give themselves some more grace than others. Because if we
Mhm.
have babies, we're going to have to give ourselves some more grace. I've been
Mhm.
recently listening to, I think, Atachi. I think that's her name. Have you read
Yes.
her book?
Not yet, but I am familiar with her name.
Her
Yes.
book is really now. I have read lots of books, I've watched lots of YouTubes, and I have learned from so many of them, but I have certain ones that really changed my home the most. And she's one of them. And so now I'm going to try to create my own system to help people as well, because I know simplicity works. In my life, all the books on meal planning did not work for me. None of them. And I have read many, many, many
Oh,
meal
yes.
planning
Hmm.
books, But I
Mm-hmm.
finally found a system that works for me. And now I no longer go to the grocery store and then not have anything to cook, or go to the grocery store and then my stuff sits in the refrigerator until it rots because I go out to eat all the time.
I love that. I love that. I need to learn from you. I need to, after this, I need to ask you what your
Yes,
secret is.
I'll have to talk to you about that because
Yes.
I finally found something that was so easy that I was able to actually keep up with it. And
That's
so now
perfect.
I want to also do the same with home management. Make it so
Hmm.
simple that you don't, I mean, you don't have to read 50 books to finally figure it out. You know.
Hmm.
So I'm
Right,
working
right.
on that.
Yeah. Well, again, going back to what you had mentioned is different life stages, right? So I
Yeah.
had a life stage where I had a meal plan or prep whole like system going that was
Mm-hmm.
perfect for me. And this
Mm-hmm.
was when I used to work 100 hours per week. And
Mm-hmm.
so it was great. But now I'm in a different life stage where I own my own business and
Mm-hmm.
I go out and do other things. And haven't quite figured out a good medium yet, as back then. And so I tried, oh, that used to work for me, but doesn't work for me
Mm-hmm.
now. And so it's, I think, also needing to be flexible
Yeah.
with with changing things up.
Mm-hmm.
When I think about all my friends who have wealth,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't get there overnight,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not currently hiring people like from day one, right?
Mm-hmm.
They went through a process of, hey, who fits what my needs are, who fits my personality, who fits what I need, budget,
Mm-hmm.
who is my family comfortable with?
Mm-hmm.
So that all comes into play.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I think that's great. Well,
Mhm.
now I know that you've been helping with the Hill Country. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing and how you're helping people a little differently.
Yes. So funny, this is a God story, I think, is
Mhm.
somehow everything has kind of all my passions have come together into one.
Oh, that's awesome.
Um, and I didn't see it before, but when you look back, it's like, oh, God wanted me here for a reason. And so a few years prior, I did get involved with a lot of nonprofit organizations that I am passionate about.
Mhm.
Um, and one of the things that I serve, or one of my biggest things that I want to help my clients is emergency preparedness,
Mhm.
especially when it comes to my clients who have, extensive items and things.
Mhm.
I understand the trauma in terms of if they were to lose everything today, it
Mhm.
would cause more trauma
Yes.
because they're not able to find things that they need to then run out. So, for
Mhm.
example, if you have a fire in your house, if you
Mhm.
have a flood, if there's a lightning strike, even if you lose the internet, right? So, for example, the freeze we had some years back, right? A lot of us had shelter, but we didn't have internet, we didn't have electricity. So,
Mhm.
how can we be prepared for if something were to happen?
Mhm.
And so and emergency preparedness and disaster relief has been something on my heart since Katrina. And if y'all are familiar with Katrina down in the South,
Mhm.
it was one of our first major big natural disasters that affected a whole lot of people and indirectly a whole lot of people.
Yes.
And so it's something I've always been passionate about for disaster relief. And I had walked in thinking that, oh, I'm going to do similar what I do with another organization, construction work, volunteer, fixing up homes, things like that. But where God has led me is actually into more of caring for others
Mm.
and being with the people.
Mhm.
And so I'm currently volunteering with a nonprofit that provides emotional, spiritual, and physical support, which also means financial support. And we walk alongside these people who have lost everything.
Oh.
And so, in this current life stage of this recent flood disaster,
Mhm.
I have not actually been in Kerrville yet.
Oh,
I've
okay.
actually been, yeah. So I've actually been up north
Mhm.
in the Sandy Creek area.
Mhm.
They were actually hit just as hard as Kerrville,
Mm.
but they're rural.
Yeah.
So there is no help out there.
Uh,
I was also up in Georgetown, which was also flooded along the river, the San
mhm.
Gabriel River. They were
Mm.
also forgotten. And not to say forgotten, but they weren't in the news. Pretty much the only people in the news were Kerrville. And
Yeah.
that's not to diminish the need in Kerrville. It was
Right. It's
a
just that there was
disaster.
a specific thing that happened at the camps
Yes.
that kind of kept people things focused. Yeah.
Right,
There.
right, right, right. Yeah, and so through this organization, I've been able to be trained on critical incident stress management, working alongside people and talking to them, listening to their stories about what happened. A lot of them are still in shock. A lot of them lost everything. A lot of them saw a lot of things. So a
Mhm.
lot of sad, sad, sad stories, and it's still ongoing. So it's um,
Yeah.
second week
Yeah.
into it. So I'm still helping out every day. I'm helping out with the hotlines.
Hmm.
And so, but going back to what we do as organizers, right? This is
Hmm.
a people business. We
Yes.
are working with the people.
Hmm.
Yes, we're helping with them with the stuff, but at the end of the day, we care about the people.
Yes. Yes.
And that's one of those things where I think we are called to do, right?
Hmm.
Is to help those who need that support.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
even just a phone call to know that, hey, we see you, that hope.
Hmm.
I have seen people with hope and
Hmm.
without hope, and there's a stark, stark difference.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I've been helping currently with the disaster relief is walking alongside these people, listening to their stories, and providing support there. And if they are open to it, praying for them as well with them.
Yeah, people want to
Mhm.
be seen and
Yes.
heard, and
Yes.
then having the opportunity to pray for them as well is really great. Well, we're down to
Mhm.
our last 10 minutes. So, what I would like to ask you now is because this is another myth that people don't understand. Sometimes we have our own organizational issues. We're not perfect. It's not
Mhm.
like you're going to come into our home one day unannounced and it's going to all be perfectly put in place. Now we're organized, but tell me or tell our audience what is one struggle you have and what is one area that you're super proud of?
I think that's another myth. That's one of those questions I always get from everybody, right? Oh, you're an organizer, your house must be perfect.
Right.
No.
Mm-mm.
That's not true all the time, right?
Mhm.
And I think my one of my biggest weaknesses is when I get busy, my house gets ignored.
Mhm.
And so I have to specifically take time in my calendar to dedicate just to put my house back together.
Mhm.
And so if it's a busy state right now, so right now I've been focused on disaster relief
Mhm.
efforts, and it's not too far from where I am. It's
Yeah.
literally just quote unquote down the street. And so yeah, I've kind of forgotten about some things in my home that need some picking up, right?
Mhm.
And so my greatest weakness is when things get busy, my house gets forgotten.
Yeah.
Um, I think one thing I'm proud of though is getting the dishes done.
Mhm.
Let me tell you, my least favorite chore in the world are dishes.
Oh.
But it's one of those things, it's when you do the dishes, it actually saves you money.
Yeah.
Why does it save you money? Because you've got dishes to cook and eat off of.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't do the dishes, you'll go out to eat every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the dishes pile up and things
Yeah.
like that. And so the kitchen is one of those places where it's most used in the home.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's doing those multi-step, which is can become or a little bit difficult for some of my clients when there are a lot of steps to something,
Mm-hmm.
it's harder to do. So
Yeah.
I've been able to keep up with my dishes, and I'm very proud of myself for that because I don't care for
Yeah,
dishes.
that's
But
good. Yeah,
yeah.
I find that I have an easier time with my dishes when I don't put them in the sink. When I put a dish pan, one of those dish pans you buy at Dollar Tree for my
Hmm.
dishes because I found that I procrastinated more because I have to take the dishes out, then I have to make sure my sink is clean because of the dirty dishes, and then
Yep.
fill it up with water. I just feel like if I can just fill it up with water, I can then just wash my dishes. I know some people clean as they go, and some people wait till,
Yep.
the end of cooking and eating and all of that stuff. Well, of course, you have
Hmm.
to wait till you finish eating,
Yes,
but you know
yes,
what I
yes,
mean.
yes. But if it's figuring out a system that works for you.
Yes, yes, and I
So
find that
yeah.
works when I don't fill my sink with all the dirty dishes. It
Hmm.
works better.
Right.
Um, that's great. All right,
Yes.
well, now let everyone know in your area how they can connect with you. And I see you have a QR code. Uh, and we will have her bio and stuff like that in the description, but I'm going to let her tell you a little bit more about how to reach her. And then we are going to end our podcast.
Yes. So I'm currently based in the greater Austin area in Texas. You can reach me on my website, collectedabundance.com. You can also find me on my Instagram page at Collected Abundance. Those two are where I'm most frequent, as well as on LinkedIn. You can kind of see who I've been networked with, who I've been working with. For example, with the nonprofits, LinkedIn through Collected Abundance as well.
Mhm.
And feel free to give me a call if you need to. 512-843-2242.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, thank you again for coming
Yes.
on. Like I have said many times, it's so much more fun when I have someone to talk to instead of just my camera. And I love getting to know people that I can't actually get to know in person. I actually get to know more about you by actually having you on my podcast. Guys, thank
Yeah.
you for listening. Thank you for watching. This will be on Spotify and YouTube and wherever Spotify, you can see everything from Spotify. And I thank you for being with us, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.